Joining us here after the game. Coach, first of all, thank you for coming up after what can only be described as a heartbreaking loss for the Railers, as Allen hits the shot there at the end on a possession that looked like maybe Will had been fouled just a second before, but a hard-fought game, and the Railers certainly gave it every effort they could, and tonight just didn't come out their way.
Well, first of all, I got to be careful what I say here because I'm not very happy. The kids put a lot of hard work in that season. They worked their tails off. They had the game here. And you get a call like that that determines the outcome, and it's not right.
Yeah, Coach, we had a 8-point lead, I think, in the fourth quarter, and the Railers looking good. You know, there were times where we could have probably really extended this thing and cut it wide open, but Chatham hit some big shots, McAdams with some big threes, and of course Peyton Allen hitting a big one to go into overtime. You know, both teams made big plays. Just a good basketball game.
Yeah, it was a great game. You know, it's too bad it had to come down to a call that it did, that there will always be questions about the game, and you know, you got to have guts when you got those stripes on to make a call, and
yeah, that call's got to be made.
That's got to be made when you force the guy out of bounds and give them the last second shot to win the game. It's a travesty that our kids have got to take that and live with that when all the guy had to do is blow the whistle and it's a foul.
Yeah.
I mean, he pushed him out of bounds, and instead they get the ball underneath their basket and get the lob play for the win. And you know, well, again, the world's not fair.
And Coach, you know, if it's a situation where Will does get fouled, he comes down and happens to miss the free throws, and then something happens, well, at least it was a fair shot for Will to come in and step up in what should have been a big moment for a senior in what turned out to be his final game.
Yeah, you know, it would have been, and you know, our kids deserve to have that opportunity at the end of the game when we should have won that. And you know, that guy's got to live with that. That's the thing. You put those stripes on, he's got to live with that he took that away from these kids that worked their tail off for however long they have. They've been in the gym, they've worked, they practiced, and they show up and they work for an hour twice a week, and then they make calls like that. And you know, I thought they'd done a nice job, other than not making the call at the end. I thought they had the game under control. I just don't think that they finished the game the way it should have been. That game should have never ended like that.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, a good season for the Railers, coming up with 28 wins. Unfortunately, the way it ends here tonight, boy, you talk about having the official having to live with the call that he didn't make. Boy, this one, unfortunately, is just going to leave a bad taste for everybody involved for Lincoln.
No doubt, and it's too bad. I mean, our kids, you know, the next game was sad. I felt good if we could got through this one, about next one, and
yeah.
And even the next one, I felt good because of the style of play that we have. But it's, you know, when it comes down and the stripes make the decision, the kids have got to make it, and the kids didn't make that decision. The official made that play.
Coach, we'll let you go. We thank you for coming up here after this tough one tonight. We thank you for coming up after every game all season. We appreciate it. We know the Railer fans appreciate it. Thanks for another great season. I think I speak for Josh and everybody up here and everybody listening. Boy, it sure feels like we should be coming back here tomorrow night.
Well, yeah, and it's going to be a tough few days to take this one, and you know, you'd rather get beat by 20 than something like this. And our kids, they don't deserve this. Our kids are good kids. They work hard. They play right. They play together. They do the things right. And I'm not saying Chatham does, because they play the game right too. They play hard, those kids. But to have it to come down, and the part of the game was make the call, make the foul, and then the game is called the right way.
Yep. I mean, you couldn't have asked Will Podbelsic to do anything else. He got in there amongst the trees, grabbed the rebound, hung on to it. Just the official saw something that everybody else in this gym didn't see.
Yeah, it's not right.
All right, Coach, thank you again, and we appreciate you coming up, and we'll let you go after this one. This certainly was a tough one.
Well, I want to thank our fans. They were outstanding, our student body, our community, and I've just been blessed to be here for 23 years and have the type of kids that I've had, and been able to work with some tremendous kids, and you know, I can't ask for a better working situation than what I've had over the past 23 years at Lincoln High School and the Lincoln community, and I'd like to thank everyone. I'm honored to be a part of it.
And Coach, I'm sure a lot of the Railer Nation would like to probably return those compliments. I think a lot of the reason that Lincoln has good kids is your coaching and the way you care for the team and the kids. And if you didn't care, it wouldn't hurt like this. And I think everybody is bleeding a little Railer red and green tonight over this one.
Yeah, and I would like to say, you know, Will Podbelsic, our only senior, had an outstanding year. You know, he's another kid that's going to move on and be very successful in what he chooses to do. He's a competitor. He works hard. And I just can't say enough about him as a senior going out, and he'll never, ever, ever, ever forget this game.
All right. Neil, thank you again, and we will let you go after this one.
Okay, thank you.